Bless those families who have lost loved ones in these recent days, Lord, and I just pray that you will continue to be with us throughout the rest of this year. Bless those families that are coming upon hard times and trials, Lord, and just have your will done in their lives. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you. Kelly, would you do the roll call, please?
Harley Buzzard.
Here.
Chris Stowe.
Here.
Buell England.
Here.
Bill John Baker.
Here.
Jack Baker.
Here.
Julia Coates. Bradley Cobb. Joe Crittenden. Jody Fishinghawk. Here. Meredith Fraley. Janelle Fulbright. Here. Dawn Garvin. Tina Glory Jordan. Curtis Snell.
Here.
David Thornton.
Praise
Kara Callan Watts. We have a quorum.
I would,
Yes,
like,
Mr. Miller.
I would like to amend the agenda to allow Charlie Soap to present first, please, in front of everything.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Charlie, we'll go ahead and do the approval of the minutes before we get you up here. We'll do the approval of the minutes. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes for February the 7th special meeting?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Same sign. Any opposed, same sign. February the 12th regular session.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Okay, Mr. Self, you want to come forward there and give your presentation? And I believe you had a written presentation out too, so just give us some highlights if you'd like, and if there's any questions, we'll get to those.
Yeah, well, I submitted the report to the council, and if you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer anything at this time. And I think there was one thing issue came up yesterday, or it's been there about a week. Kurt called last night about a water line situation up in Oak. There's about 20 families that are without water in the area, and they have probably a breakage in the line. So got with Billy last night and this morning, and they're sending some equipment and men up there to help out. And so hopefully they'll get that taken care of today. So, but apparently that district manager there has been trying to do it by himself about a week, and no heavy equipment. County commissioners kind of stepped up to the plate, and they're trying to get him some heavy equipment, and also we're pulling our man out and trying to help locate the leak so we can get the families some water again. Thank you, Charlie.
Councilor Baker.
Yeah, Charlie, I see you purchased 3, I guess, new backhoes.
Right?
Have you considered a track hoe?
We have one.
Okay, I mean, from these water lines I've been looking at, that track hoe goes 3 times faster than a backhoe.
I think Harley had that in place before he left.
Yeah, we took one and let it go back, then we got one again.
Yeah.
They've got a nice hole up there.
But
You're right, you're exactly
I mean, backhoes are nice. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah, I know.
but that track hoe, I mean, Cherokee County especially, is just a godsend.
Right.
But, and for those that don't know, Cherokee County has a few more rocks than most places.
I know that. I think David swears Sequoia County and Adair County the same way
Very
too.
well aware. Granite marble.
Councilor
That's the tough one. That's the tough one.
Adair's got some rocks too.
Councilor Fishinghawk.
Yeah.
Could you get, I know you're in a hurry, sometime this week, could you get me and Joe something on that Watch Use Center? Which one we're looking at?
Yes, we
Okay.
can.
Thank you.
Any more questions for Charlie? Charlie, any announcements or anything coming up that you want to announce?
No, we've completed the Tailholt water, the main line at Tailholt, and they're flushing out the line, and then also they're hooking up the service line, and then Dry Creek same way. So so far in the last year we've completed the Blue, and then Tailholt and Dry Creek. And there's a couple of smaller ones too that we're providing a lot of water, good safe water to a lot of communities. So, but there's other projects in the top line, so we'll keep you informed of what's going on in that area. So, housing's going pretty good. The rain has sort of kept us at a standstill. I think we calculated the rainy season came and we lost a whole month because of the weather. Too muddy to go in and build pads and actually do the work and stuff. So, but hopefully weather breaking and we'll be back on track again. But the families are working on those homes really nice. Most people are now sheetrocking their stage the homes and stuff, so it's going pretty well. So along with other projects, I think things are moving along really well.
Okay, all right, thank you, Charlie.
Thank you.
Human Services Department, Norma Merriman, please.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I've submitted my report as well, and if you have any questions about that, I'll be glad to address them.
Any questions for Norma? Norma, you got any highlights you'd like to let us know about?
I think we had, Jerry had mentioned in our report that the USDA Regional Directors Meeting will be April the 22nd and 23rd in Dallas, and invites any of the tribal officials here that would like to attend to just contact him if you have any interest in attending that. I think that was the only announcement we had. I did have a couple of things I wanted to follow up on from last month. Mr. Garvin had asked about the status of the OK Nutrition site. At the time you asked that, Lisa was waiting to hear back from them. They were supposed to be doing a count on the number of Indians that were eating at that site. She had not heard back from them, so when I asked her the status, she said, well, let me get in touch with them. So she's meeting with them this week to find out kind of where they are, go over again with them the Title VI regulations, but the lady told her she felt like they had a majority of Indians that were eating at that nutrition site, so they're going to try to work on getting that count.
If they need one more to eat, I could go over there.
Okay, well, I'll tell her. I'll tell her that. Also, just FYI, Marble City is getting very close to our being able to assist them. I think Lisa's also meeting with them tonight, actually. Did they approve it last night? Okay. Well, maybe last night was last night instead of tonight. Okay. So that should be starting pretty quickly. And then I had chatted with Councilman Cobb last night that the weather kind of got in the way of our Delaware County transactions, but that's going to be ready to go as soon as Lisa can get up there.
Washington County, Delaware Center.
Oh, well, I was talking about the Delaware tribe. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Councilor Baker has a question. Norma.
Yes.
If a community, I've got a community that's building a new community building, and of course one of their hopes and dreams is to have a nutrition site. What's the process?
They just need to get in touch with Lisa James, and Lisa will let them know what the process is. They're going to have to get their building finished, but she can talk to them about what they need in their kitchen and those types of things. So the sooner they can talk with her, the better.
But we have resources to expand.
Jerry, do we have some resources right now?
We're running tight, but we could probably pick up another couple of centers as long as they didn't average over 30 or 40.
Oh, no.
Now,
Well, I say
we
that.
have another one who's and it's, I can't remember, Fairland? Fairfield? Fairland?
Where
Somebody
do those
help
funds
me.
come from?
Well, some come from Title VI, and we have some tribal funds, and anywhere else, Jerry?
USDA.
USDA. So multiple possibilities marry together to make it happen.
And HUD.
Okay. I'll have them contact you shortly. Thank you.
Ms. Fishing Hawk, you have a question?
I have a community building over in Adair County, a community center, that wants to talk to somebody about the diabetic program to teach people to cook.
Okay.
Who do I need to tell them?
Probably the diabetes
I didn't know if that was your group.
No,
Okay.
that's Teresa Shadowan in Health,
Okay.
and they could probably direct.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Norma, I have a question on the meal sites too. Is there I'm not sure how to say this, but is there consistently charged all over the 14-county jurisdictional area is what we charge?
There's a
Non-Indian?
Yes, is it 3 here? Get Jerry up
We
here.
have,
He's over those programs.
We have an overall meal charge of $3 per meal. And
Is that for everybody, Jerry, or?
that's for everybody. No, take that back.
Okay.
For all of the elder tribal members, they eat free. The $3 meal charge is only for those individuals that don't fall under the Title VI classification. They're under the age of 50 and non-Indian. And Bill, USDA's, or Title VI is currently saying that at least 51% of those individuals utilizing the nutrition site have to be tribal members in order for us to participate. And what we've done, we've taken all of the tribal funds and used the same policies and rules that we use for Title VI for those tribal dollars.
Okay, so the charge is pretty consistent?
It is, it's consistent all,
Okay.
yeah, no matter where the
And
site's
what is
located.
that, did you say how much it was? $3?
$3.
It can cause problems if you have a site where you have
Yeah.
a lot of non-Indians that, or non-eligibles, I'll say,
Yeah.
that are not paying that $3. It puts us in a situation. We do have some, and Jerry can probably tell you more about this, but there is an allowance for some volunteers, but you can't have everybody volunteering.
And what Title VI tells us, we purchase the food for the entire nutrition site.
Yeah.
So the non-Indians are actually just repaying the Cherokee Nation for the food items that was purchased to feed.
And that's a reasonable price.
And you know, we've had centers like Kansas.
Yeah, and that's kind
You
of...
know, we only had like a 10% participation rate for tribal members, and we ended up, the community chose not to participate. Of course, we didn't tell them, but we were at the point where we could no longer participate with them because their tribal participation fell below that 51%. And plus, they didn't want to pay $3 to eat. So.
All right, thank you, Jerry. Thank you. Go ahead. Neil.
That's all I had.
Okay, well, thank you. That's
Okay.
a good report.
Thank you.
David Sutherland from the Housing Services.
Should have a report. Also emailed, hopefully everyone got a copy of some of the information Harley was wanting on the emergencies and disasters and what have you.
Yeah, I think we sent it out to all the councilmen. Yes, we sent it all out to the
Okay.
councilmen. So they have it.
And I've got a handout here. Councilwoman Fishing Hawk was wanting information on mortgage assistance by county. We started with fiscal year 05 and went through.
Do we have that, David? I don't see that.
No, I haven't handed. I'm gonna hand this
okay.
out.
Okay.
Yeah, and then it's got breakdown of foreclosures and bankruptcies for the same periods, and it's broken down by the different programs we have. And just FYI, there's a program here called Mortgage Buy Down. It was the program we funded out of proceeds of sale back in the early 2000, 2001.
Do you have copies of that now?
Yeah, I got it to hand out.
Could you hand that out now so we can take a look at that?
And it also on the back page are some new income guidelines for the NAHASDA programs that went into effect on Friday. They went up somewhat.
David, does the 184 loan program, did they go up too, or do you know?
The 184 program, I'm trying to think if I think they go up to 125% of national median. So to get a 184 loan through a lender, the guideline is quite a bit higher than what we go through. And we'll assist someone getting one of those loans as long as they're within 80% of the national median. We'll assist them with mortgage assistance.
You have another one of them.
Here's
I know Tyler's gonna holler for one.
But anyway, what I was explaining, the mortgage buy down is what we called mortgage assistance prior to 2005. I think we probably quit funding that in 2003, to be honest with you. So there was a period of time there where there was no mortgage assistance whatsoever, and then in 2005 we started it back, and it was funded with federal funds through the hospital. And the bankruptcies are fewer than what we've seen in the past, just because of the change in the law, and it's a little tougher to file a bankruptcy now than it was.
Mr. Baker?
Yeah, David, it says here someplace, one second, okay. Says OA rental assistance available. You have 1,471.
We do about, I think last fiscal year we did in excess of 1,700. But the 1,471 is what the number that HUD says we have to do to be comparable with what we did in 1997.
So are you fully?
Yeah, you know how rental assistance is always turnover, but yeah, we're in good
But
shape on rental assistance.
You really don't have 1,471 available.
No.
I mean.
No.
You got people in it.
At any one time, they've probably got a couple of hundred of folks looking for rental units, because there's a big turnover on that program. So
But there's still a waiting list.
they're still waiting list.
Yeah.
Not in all counties though. Not in all counties.
Okay.
Like in Cherokee County, there's a waiting list, pretty significant.
And what does 233 available in mortgage assistance mean?
That's what's in the budget,
Okay.
or the Indian Housing Plan.
And none of those have been used?
We're using those as we speak.
Okay.
Those will be, since they did the revision in the last month or two, prior month or two, we had 233 in the budget, and there was several added to the 06 IHP, and it was reduced in the 07. But we're going to have 08 coming up, so it's going to be fully funded again at 233, I believe it is, in the 03. I mean the 08. I think I confused you pretty good.
Well, the available was kind of misleading.
Why don't I try to figure that out for you and get that info to you, how many we've got right now, and then when the 08 comes into effect on
Up and down, yeah, please.
how many we'll have. Well, I know we've done 153 since October 1. So,
Councilor Fishingham?
Okay, David, I need to ask you a question or two about the in lieu of taxes. In Adair County, we pay 14 something. They was wanting to raise it up to, I think Delaware County pays like 35. They got a letter back stating they couldn't. But then when I was at a meeting with them, I'm looking at the Nahazda Act that they had at the meeting, and in there it says $150 per house to the county for in lieu of taxes.
in the Nahazda regs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not exactly sure where that came from. I have to do a little research on that. What it also says is you have cooperation agreements with each county, and those are negotiated, and we have co-op agreements with every county and might near every municipality around. Of course, we don't pay the municipalities, we pay the county in the payment of the tax. They did approach us. I took it to the board, and the board voted not to do that. And the reason for that at the time was we had the Freedman issue, and they just slapped the legislation that was added to the language of Nahazda back early last year. I don't remember what the legislation number is. So the board was a little leery of even considering that at that time. Now, I think that they would reconsider it at some point in time for that.
Okay, well, can you do me, here's what I need.
I think where the 150 comes in, if you don't have a co-op agreement, that you could possibly do it for $150,000, or $150 a unit. But where we've already got the co-op agreements in place, we go by what those cost.
Well, that's what I was going to bring up. It said 150 or the lesser amount agreed by with your local governing body.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm getting ready to tell you is when I hear the county commissioners talk, I think we'll get ready to ask for their 150 out of the hospital. So because I was at a meeting and I told them I would come back, can you or the board write up a paper stating why the counties can't get the 150 apiece? Because like in my county, we probably got over 500 units of this.
Yeah. Now, just on the other hand, keep in mind though, if we go up to $150, everybody's payment's going to probably double. From minimum payment be $75 now, probably be $150.
I understand that, but I'm just telling you what my county wants, is requesting of me, because you all's gonna start getting letters on it already by all the officials. So I need to report back and tell the commissioner something, or a reason.
Do the letter to you?
Yes, please, and to the county commissioners. I guess the assessors, you're getting one from all the county signed by all the officials. And I figure this may end up the other county calling for it, so I'm letting you know.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
David, just to follow up on, how does that work now? Does the county just request $150, or does they have to be a cooperative agreement between the board and the county?
We have an agreement now.
Okay.
So the board would have to approve any change in that agreement. And when they were approached, it was probably back in October or somewhere around in that time frame, they voted not to go up to 35, just because there was a lot of ifs at that time on the funding.
Okay, I've got the Councilor Fulbright, Critton, and then Baker.
I've got a quick question. Here, a month or so ago, we were discussing the Choctaws paying the 25,000 mortgage assistance, and some of us were wondering if we had enough money to do that.
Well, we're on pace right now. The last fiscal year we did 311, which was more than. Luckily, we've had extra money, but at some point, you know, if the budget, if the IHP only says 233, and we're doing 300, obviously at some point we'll have to put a hold on it and start a waiting list. So right now, looking into the future a little bit, I don't. Business is good at 15,000. I don't know if 25 would be something you'd want to consider or not. You're going to have to find extra money for it. Because we're doing, and to summarize, we're doing more now than we got money for.
Do you have a follow-up?
It's a little bit different. This gentleman, Donnie Eubanks, he kept telling me the Choctaw that, you know, we've had all the trouble with. How was his different from these other mortgage assistants? Because he said that his credit rating was so bad that he wasn't going to ever make a payment until 3 years had passed. But most people I know that get it, they start making the payment right away.
He's on what we call the assumable mortgage program. We've got
So
about
it's a little bit different?
It's a little different, and,
Okay.
and those folks are referred from Commerce, the self-sufficiency counselors who work with them. But no, when they move into the house, they begin paying their payment, and it's equal to what it will be when they start, when they assume the mortgage in 3 years. So they pay the principal and interest, plus the insurance as if they own the house, and the taxes as if they own the house. But the actual cost of those taxes and the insurance is quite a bit less because we own the house. And in doing that, we escrow the difference. So if they complete the program, we're going to give them that money back when they complete the program. So that's the difference. Good program.
Councilor Critton.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. David, the question that Jody had a while ago about and the letter, you know, back to her on in lieu of taxes. I'd like to copy that also. And is there any way that we could find out county by county or district by district what each one's co-op agreement is and how much each one of them is getting?
That's easy. Delaware and Mays County are $35 per unit.
Okay.
Everyone else is $14.40 a unit, and that's per year.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Councilor Baker.
That took care of me.
Councilor Fishing, again, a
Yes.
question.
I don't know if that's you, Marvin, or who, but I would like a matrix prepared on our IHP plans, kind of like you handed out, where it would say like 08, 07, 06, 05 of our IHP plans out here, say what program like mortgage assistance, because I would like to see how much money we put into 04, 05, 06, 07, because we have discussed raising that program to 25 and a column total. I don't want anything too complicated. Just that's, you know, where the money's going in the IHP budget.
Kind of like a comparison of years.
And then each year, what's going to it and what's left in each year. So I could just look at it.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Councilor Baker.
although you're only paying $14.50 a house, do the schools not get impact aid or something based on those same houses?
They do.
That is tremendously more than taxes.
Yeah, it's quite a bit more. It's in the neighborhood of $3,500 a child or something. But don't quote me on that. But yeah, the way that works is, say, Stillwell will contact us generally by letter and say, we need the information for our impact aid. We then run reports on who's got a house, who paid off in the last 12 months, who's living in the low rent units in that area, and we give them that information. And they go through and they put this down on their form. They pick out the kids that they've got, and then we check them to make sure that that's correct, and then we sign off on it. If it's federal land, they'll come out to the tribe realty and present that, and tribe will sign off on it, and then they get the impact aid funds. That's how it works. That makes up for the difference in for the school.
And that's a good point that you bring up, David, because a lot of people think that just because we have a lot of trust property and federal lands, like in Delaware County, they still get money for that. I mean, it's not like they're just sitting there drawing nothing, but they do get that impact aid dollars. I know the Bill Hollis shop, they inventory that every year, and they get dollars for that thing. So it's not that the county's not receiving dollars for it. Anyway, I just thought that was a good point you made there. Any more questions for Mr. Sullivan? Dave, do you have anything else you want to?
That's it.
Tell us? All right, thank you. Okay, we'll go to old business, LIHEAP program update. Norma or Jerry's going to do that?
Jerry's going to do that. I'm delegating.
I took the privilege to hand out a little information sheet just for your information to look and see how many LIHEAP participants we had from your given area. And I would make a notation there. This is dated February the 19th. We have processed a few more LIHEAP applications since that day, but only 25 or 30. Might point out there at the bottom where you see clients over the age of 60 or disabled. That tallies up to 1,064, and I questioned the girls earlier this morning, and that number right now is just almost 1,100 elderly and disabled that we've assisted this year with our regular heating assistance program. And I say that to say this. I believe from the meeting last week, this was a target group that we wanted to address during the possibility of a summer propane purchase, the elderly and disabled. But if you'll go back and look at this list here, you'll see under propane that at this point in time we had served 598 clients with propane this year. But only about 500 of those are elderly or disabled. So if we're looking at a summer program for the elderly and disabled to purchase propane for, we're looking at roughly 500 participants that would fall into that category. We talked about $200,000. And if we look at $200,000 and we look at 500 participants, that's roughly $400 per participant. And we've done some research since the last meeting. We discovered that the average propane cost in July of 2007 was $1.60 a gallon. The average price in January was $2.30, quite similar to the numbers that Councilman Thornton come up with during the last meeting. So what that tells us is, we have no idea in the world what propane will be this coming summer. But if it was in the ballpark of $1.60 a gallon, you're looking at roughly 250 gallons per participant. And the majority of our clients, will have 250-gallon propane tanks. But you want me to?
Yeah, Councilman Baker first, and I got
Mr. Chairman, I'd move that we move to executive finance, $200,000 supplemental appropriation to LIHEAP so that Jerry can serve those 500 elderlies with the whatever $400 propane will buy them in July.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All, let's go ahead and take a vote then.
Okay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Mr. Thorne, you had a...
The one thing that I was wanting to kind of bring out was, it may be $2 a gallon this summer,
That's true.
but next winter, it may be $2.75.
Yeah, who knows?
You know, it varies, and it's going to vary from summer to winter. We all know that, you know, and that's the reason that
In visiting with these
For
propane
this.
companies, I did discover that some years, you know, it will vary more than others. Some years, the summer rates go down real low. In other years, the last year didn't go down real low. You know, like I say, it dropped down to $1.60, but that's not real low.
yeah, that's pretty good savings.
And the $200,000 that you make available, we will be able to use that for leveraging in our LIHEAP program. And the federal government tells us for every non-federal dollar that we put into our LIHEAP program to supplement it, that we get a portion of it. And it's been running about 35 to 40%. So, you know, that $200,000 means that hopefully we'll get back enough money to allow us to do some other type of project. The $500,000 that you appropriated a couple years ago, we got back enough in leveraging funds to do a real good summer cooling program with it.
Councilor Shelf, you have a question?
Mr. Stennis, you're tracking the denials. Is that typically based upon just the income levels, or are there other factors there?
I'm sorry.
On the very bottom of your spreadsheet, you're tracking the denials.
Two things. Number one is income.
Okay.
And again, we're dealing with poverty level plus 10%.
Right.
And, you know, a lot of families want to make applications, so we let them make those applications.
Right.
But we also have a large number, and I couldn't give you those numbers right off the cuff. I can get them for you, that where participants just fail to return their support documents to determine eligibility. And don't know what those numbers are, but majority of it over income.
Councilor Baker.
Am I the only one, or, well, let me ask the question the other way. How many of these 105 people that we deny are $6 over income?
Anytime we have an individual that's extremely close, we go back. Those are based on monthly payments or monthly resources. And the elderly and disabled, you know, generally, if their income's been the same for the past 12 months, you know, we'll go back and they're pretty well over. But a lot of times their income will change, generally in January or February. It's when their Social Security's amounts change. We'll go back and do an annual and look at 12 months in lieu of just the 1 month that they applied for. But yes, Bill John, there are individuals that it doesn't matter, you know, if we used poverty plus 90%, there's going to be individuals that are $6 or $7 over income. It wouldn't matter what your income guidelines are. There's always going to be someone over. But anytime we have a family that's close like that, we do everything possible, you know, to try to get them under the wire. But ever so often you'll get a family that's just $6 over income, and you know, it's kind of like being a little bit pregnant. Either is or you ain't. and I don't know where we draw the line.
Well, and I understand that, but it just, I mean, we're using those really low incomes, and we have the family that is $6 over. I just wonder if maybe we wouldn't want to have a small tribal fund that we wouldn't have to follow the federal guidelines on, just to help that. And that's why I was asking, how many of the 106 are we talking about?
Well, I can't tell you that, but I will. I can get that information for you.
And I realize some of them are gonna be, $100 a month over that apply just because they wanted to, but if we could get something like that, when you're when you're at these income guidelines and $6 makes a difference in you getting a $300 or $400 payment for your utilities, something just doesn't,
we do everything possible whenever they're that close to get them under the wire, and we probably get a little nearsighted and farsighted and put numbers down that we probably shouldn't, but we do everything we can to get them in.
Okay, have Councilor Garvin, Fishinghawk, and Calvin.
Thank you. I was thinking about this propane, butane, whatever. In the summertime, could we take a look at the previous years and see whether July is better than August or August is better than July? I'm sure, just guessing, probably August would be the best time to.
And you might very well be right, but that won't be any problem doing a follow-up on that. Good point.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Fishinghawk.
What do you do? I had a member that come up to me this winter, and I sent him to you all for light heat help. He was in a wheelchair, he was a vet, he was $7 over income. When you all deny him, where do I need to tell him to go after that?
Well, we look at one of our other programs, Nahasta, for instance. Those income guidelines are a lot higher.
Okay, because nobody down there that was taking his application told him to go anywhere to look at Nahasta. They
Well,
just said we can't help it.
Generally, whenever they go through and make those applications, they'll come through during our regular LIHEAP period. And, Nahasta, we're only going to use that if we really see a crisis situation going on where the family just absolutely does not have, even though they have resources coming in, for some reason they've had hardships that's kept them from using, or it's taken all of those resources, then we can look at other programs. But you don't always know that whenever they just come in and apply for LIHEAP, because it's a routine thing. They come in and apply. Well, we've probably served close to 1,350 total clients as of now. Like I say, this is a couple of weeks short on this printout here. But if they really have a crisis, we're going to look at other programs.
Okay, thank you.
Councilor Watt.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So if we find these people that are $6 or $10 over, how many do you think are then going to be another $6 or $10 over?
Well, it was like I was saying, no matter where you draw the line, there's always going to be a family that's going to be $6 or $8 over.
Thank you. Yep.
Any more questions for Mr. Stout? Thank you, Jerry.
I do have one other thing.
Sure.
I misled you all ago when you questioned us about the Title VI program and the senior nutrition. When I said it was $3 throughout the area for meals, that's $3 for individuals that are 50 years of age and older that are not tribal members. If they're under the age of 50, we charge them $5. We charge them $5, and I failed to point that out a while ago. Simply because our program wasn't designed for those individuals under the age of 50.
So we charge more if they're age challenged.
We don't. We charge less. See if you get as old as Kurt, you get me free.
Okay. Anything else, Jerry?
That's it.
All right, thank you. Yeah. New business, I don't see any. Do I? New business, seeing none. Any announcements? Any council members have any announcements they'd like to put forward? Anybody in the audience? Seeing none, I hear a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Same sign. Thank you.